It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield-Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be back. A little time off.
Look who made it home
from this, but doing my other job down in Florida for the hurricane. It is good to be back. Good to be back with you. And I know that Sarah held down the fort really well with Diana. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. With
Okay.
Diana, she held down the fort too. So,
Okay.
yeah, it was good to have her. Glad you're back and glad you're in one piece because it was pretty wild, huh?
It was pretty wild. We'll talk more about that later if you want. Let's do some news.
Okay. All right, here we go. This is a story that's very hard to hear, but worth reporting. The Highway Patrol arrested 4 adults along I-44, but only 2 of them ended up facing charges. Looks like only 2 are actually going to be in any kind of trouble, but they were driving through Webster County and were pulled over for a traffic violation on I-44. And the driver and passenger seemed a bit suspicious as police were asking them questions. So that trooper called for backup. And as soon as another one came out, then they asked to search. And sure enough, there were 7 kids in the back of a U-Haul truck, ranging in age from 2 to 13.
Wow. Oh.
Unbelievable. No air conditioning back in the back. Dirty food containers everywhere. Disgusting. So they were stopped at the Marshfield exit, the main exit, on Sunday afternoon. And hats off to the initial trooper who knew something was not quite right.
God bless him for pulling him over to begin with and then reading the people enough to figure out that something's going on here. I don't know what, but something is. And then searching to rescue those kids. Is there any indication at this point as to whether the children were theirs?
I mean, there were 2 men. They're the ones facing charges. One is from Buffalo, New York. The other one is from Arizona. And their stories were not matching up. And then there were also 2 women. And for whatever reason, they were not charged. So it leads me to believe that they were also perhaps, in need of rescue. So I don't know. I'm not sure. The 2 men, they are also, police are trained, to be able to spot that. But it's
all right.
just,
I was just wondering if this was, I don't want to speculate, but you wonder, are the children theirs? Were the children kidnapped from somewhere? You don't know. It's driving across an interstate across the country. So you don't have any idea what is going on.
I don't have any
here.
idea. I do not think the females were mom. You know what I mean? You just don't get that sense from the police report.
Then that means something. Okay.
So
it doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't. But you do not get the sense that either of the females were moms. And so then there were the 2 men whose stories didn't match up.
Well, it's very troubling. Very disturbing. And thank God the trooper did what he did. So we'll find out more about it in the coming days, I suppose. There
you go. So the kids are now in the custody of the state, as you would imagine. The only charges so far are again against the 2 men. And it's times 7, of course, endangering the welfare of a child, which is a felony. But it could end up, who knows, kidnapping, trafficking. We don't know if that's what the situation was, but certainly in a U-Haul truck on I-44, neither of them from anywhere near here, it could very well be that. So, stay tuned. And also praise God. So,
right.
All right. Now to this. Tens of thousands of folks in the U.S. Southeast are still reeling from Hurricane Helene. The death toll has now topped 120 people across 6 different states. Springfield-based Convoy of Hope, as well as Ethan, was there. The local Red Cross chapter volunteers are there. The Salvation Army. We know some linemen from the Ozarks went down to help. All of them on the ground, helping in the aftermath. Ethan, it appears, is back. But many workers from our area are still there trying to help them out because it is quite the mess.
Yeah, we got there. I got there kind of a part of an advance crew to scout out a location for our response to begin. We got there before the hurricane. So we got there, ended up we missed. Well, our flight was late leaving Springfield. That set off a domino effect of terrible travel things. But we ended up getting to Tallahassee, which is I lived there for 2 years and worked in television for 2 years, so it was my old market. We got there at about 1:30 a.m. or 2:00 Wednesday night. Got up early Thursday and drove around, and we're scouting locations. We had to get groceries and a cooler to be able to keep them because, the thinking that as a Category 4 is coming, we're going to lose power, and we're going to have something to eat because everything's going to be shut tomorrow.
Right.
So we got everything that we needed, and then we were at a hotel with the night of the hurricane, and it kind of missed Tallahassee. So we didn't even lose power, which was unbelievable. Then we got up early. We were up, most of the night looking out the window, though, and hearing the wind and rain. We got up early, drove down to Perry, Florida, which is about an hour from Tallahassee. And
I saw pictures today from Perry. Wow.
Yeah, we were there. We were there hours after the storm moved through, and then I was on the phone with our full team. Our full team had 14 trucks, semis, and U.S. disaster relief vehicles that they kept out of the hurricane zone because of the high winds or high profile. And then they were driving in as I was talking to them on the phone and talking to them about sites that they had possibilities to set up, because Convoy needs a big parking lot with 14 semi-type vehicles. That sets up a camp where the Convoy people live, basically. And I did a Facebook Live about this. You can see it on my Facebook page if you want to. It's about 10 minutes long. I take you through the camp and show you everything that it looks like. Anyway, we talked them in. We shot some video, talked to some people, and then the distribution started happening. So now, and then as it was happening in Florida, we're getting word about all of the growing need to the north, way inland, which is weird for a hurricane like this to almost cause more damage and destruction inland than it did at ground zero where it hit on the coast. But that's what's happening in this case. So now Convoy sending supply to North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida all at the same time. It's become a massive response.
Yes, and needed. So yeah, thanks for your work there, and also glad you're back. The Convoy team is not back, but I'm glad that you are. So yeah,
they are not back. They'll be.
Everybody has a different job description.
2 weeks on, and then they'll switch out with somebody and get a little bit of rest. Okay, because they're long days out there in the field. I can tell you that. As the election draws near, Springfield police have gotten a handful of reports about people stealing political signs. Greene County Republican headquarters says it has people coming in to get more signs. Replacement signs is what they're saying, because their signs were stolen. But it's happening apparently on both sides of the political aisle.
It is happening on both sides. That's what the police say. So just to be clear.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean, I know. I was just, because people, will be like, well, what about the, other, anyway. It's fine.
Well, it's politics, so everybody's going to be upset about everything. It's against the law to steal a political sign from somebody, but if you're putting them out, and I haven't seen a whole lot this year, to be honest with you, personally, but if you're putting them out, you can put them on property that you own, or if you have the permission of the owner, but you can't put it on a public right-of-way, which is always the law. Tonight is the only scheduled night you can watch a live debate between vice presidential nominees. Democrat Governor Tim Walz and Republican Senator J.D. Vance will square off tonight at 8 o'clock. CBS is hosting that debate, although every major network will be carrying it live, so you can still choose what you want to watch, even though CBS controls all of it. It's tonight at 8. It will be an hour and a half long, the vice presidential debate. And then meanwhile, local TV station Color 10 is taking voter questions for their upcoming debate between U.S. Senator Josh Hawley and his challenger Lucas Kuntz. The two have agreed to a live televised debate on Halloween night, which is interesting. Just, why Halloween? Nobody's in their house on Halloween night. But
yeah, anyway. It's kind of a bummer because, everybody wants to watch it. It was probably honestly hard to find a time. But then
I feel like
a lot of people would be like walking the neighborhoods and trick-or-treating at 7 p.m. But I don't know.
I feel like they could do better than that. But I don't know why. I don't know whose advantage it would be to, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, you go to the website, ozarksfirst.com. You can submit questions for the candidates that they may use. It's their parent company that's putting that on. You can watch the debate Halloween night, 7:00 on Color 10. It's Nexstar, which owns Color 10.
And multiple stations across the state, throughout the state. So it'll be aired elsewhere as well within Missouri. But
will it physically take place in St. Louis, I think?
I think it is physically in St. Louis. I do believe that to be true. I hope that's right. I think that's right.
My old station, KMOV.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Congratulations are in order, by the way, for a Springfield company making waves in a national competition. This is exciting because, by the way, there is a $1 million prize on the line. How cool is that? So if the Springfield company wins, they get $1 million. Purpose Connect Inc. That's what it's called. Purpose Connect Inc. It's a hiring and staffing firm. And they do a lot of that digitally, like digital resume type. Anyway, they are now in the finals of an entrepreneurial, that's a hard word to say, competition. I know how to say entrepreneur, but then the IAL at the end.
Right.
Competition. It is in this year's Black Ambition Prize competition. So they are one of 40 total finalists. And I hope that I do not mess up the lady's name. She is beautiful. I saw her picture. Dami Odunuwu. There you go. I don't know if I said it right, but she is the CEO. She's the founder of Purpose Connect. And I just thought it was a cool story. So that would be really, really neat to be the winner of that.
Yeah,
so.
Good luck to them. That's cool.
Good luck indeed. Okay. And then finally, we will see what this means for customers, but DirecTV just purchased Dish. Neither one of them are doing well. That's why DirecTV was able to get Dish for $1, literally $1. Really? But that's because DirecTV is taking all of Dish's debt load, which apparently is in the billions of dollars.
Wow. Billions.
Both companies have struggled to keep customers because of things like Prime Video, Netflix. Anyway, so as you know, it's been a rough go for them.
And there's also YouTube TV. There are Fubo. There are
a million.
Other types of streaming services where you can get the channels that you want to see. Wow, I didn't realize Dish was doing that poorly. I always preferred Dish to Direct, frankly, over the years. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, that's just not my forte. Even though I was in television, I'm not a big TV watcher other than news. So I don't know. I don't even really watch anything streaming other than news. So, okay. Well, guess what today is, Ethan? It is officially October.
Oh,
can you even believe it?
You know what this means? That according to my policy, I now have to begin allowing pumpkin spice into the house. I'm not thrilled about it.
It's so crazy. Yes. So today is October 1st. It is a Tuesday. And this weekend, the Haunted History walking tour begins in downtown. So that's just 'tis the season. The History Museum on the Square puts that on. It's also the first Friday Art Walk on Friday, which is kind of like perfect timing for fall, you know?
Yeah.
And then also it is the Ozark Fall Farm Fest, which is always fun. The big show. So, you can tune in or head over, I should say, to those big events happening this weekend. If you go to aroundtheozarks.com, we have all sorts of events that you can do, not just this weekend, but even during the week, there's events on there. So check it out right now at aroundtheozarks.com. And while you're there, don't forget to play our contest.
Yeah.
If you go to the website, click on contest, you will see the Branson Bowl. And we are giving away tickets to a Chiefs football game or signed gear. In this week's competition, you will win a signed Chiefs jersey from Rashee Rice. Now, we know that he hurt his knee on Sunday, but he's still a player. He's still on the team. So Rashee Rice
That's a cool
signed jersey.
That's a nice jersey.
Yeah, as well as some custom gear, because Branson is the official vacation destination of the Kansas City Chiefs, and you can get some official gear to go along with that.
That's great. Awesome.
What is the key word, Ethan? Tell him.
The key word is, I need to do that again. The key word is shopping.
Shopping. I feel like you kind of like swallow the word.
Shopping.
Better. That one was better. So Diana did that for you, Ethan, just so you know. And she did pretty good. You got some stiff competition.
I don't know about that.
Anyway, all right. Well, thanks for joining us. Welcome home, Ethan. And we know that you won't be home for long. You'll be headed right back out of here.
Maybe so. There's another one lining up in the Gulf that looks like it has the same track as Helene, which I can't imagine, but we'll see.
Lord help them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we do hope to see you back here tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Have a great day.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Rescue Towing, Command Family Medicine, and John's Heating and Air. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Tuesday. It is going to be one of the best days of the week. Temperatures this morning are kicking off right around 60 degrees. It is comfortable out there this morning, and we're only warming to the mid 70s, 74 degrees. My high temperature forecast in Springfield today will have sunshine. It will be just a fantastic afternoon to spend outdoors. One of these kind of autumn days that's not too chilly just yet. Perfect for outdoor activities. Dry conditions are going to stick with us today, and really that's the case for the rest of the week too. We had a whole lot of rain around last weekend, so it's kind of nice to get the break. If you got anything going on outdoors, fall sports in full spring, this is going to swing. This is going to be a great week to get outdoors and enjoy. Slightly cooler than yesterday with high temperatures in the 70s. And I think we stay in the 70s on Wednesday too. The setup looks like a cold front across the region. And thanks to that front, it's going to bring us a north breeze and the slight cool down that I'm mentioning. Highs in the mid 70s across the region today. Will stay in the upper 70s for highs on Wednesday. And then heat will build back into the area. That happens as early as Thursday. High pressure in control though, and there's just not any moisture in the air in the Midwest. So we are going to see this pass as what we call a dry cold front, meaning that we don't get any rain chances that come along with it. Above normal temperatures do return this week. That happens by Thursday. And in fact, might be kind of hot again by Thursday afternoon. I have high temperatures climbing once again into the upper 80s, pushing 90 in a couple of spots by Thursday. So enjoy the cool down that we have out there for you today. Dry conditions will persist not just today, but I have us dry through the rest of the week and dry through next weekend as well. Temperatures look like they'll stay in the 80s for highs this weekend, but overall, it is going to be a comfortable stretch of weather. Warmest temperatures through the rest of the week will stay south of I-44. So today we're talking about highs in the mid 70s here in Springfield. We're in the low 80s down in northern Arkansas and extreme southern Missouri. Also on Wednesday, while highs in the 70s will be in Springfield, we may have the mid 80s down south. And then we are talking about the warmest air staying west of Highway 65 on Thursday and Friday. In fact, Thursday, that's the hot one that I mentioned. There could be some 90s west of 65 out toward the Joplin area. So something to keep in mind. Around the country, what's making headlines today, it's fire weather concerns. The dry air that we have in place in the Midwest, well, it's even worse. Very low dew points up in the plains and the northern plains. And if you look at the national map, there are what we call red flag warnings, which means high fire danger that spread states wide. High fire concern for the plains. We also have extreme heat happening across the country for the desert Southwest. Also, portions of Southern California do have some heat headlines out in the forecast today. And while all of that's happening in the United States, we're still watching the tropics very closely because they remain active, with a couple of named storms out over the Atlantic and a couple disturbances that could develop in the coming days. Nothing that's going to impact us here in the next 5 days or so in the continental United States, but National Hurricane Center forecasters are keeping a close eye on the tropics, especially after what happened with Helene. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. And here it is, kind of a funny one. In 1962, in what would become Tanzania, what type of epidemic lasted months and shut down 14 different schools? And the options here were A, coughing, B, dancing, C, laughing, or D, hiccuping. If you listened to the podcast yesterday morning, you heard we had Joseph on to answer this question. He went with C, laughing, and it's a correct answer for today. C, laughing is the answer. They called this a mass hysteria event. People were coming down with all of these symptoms. It was not just laughing, but it was also kind of these outbursts of yelling and then laughing. And it was contagious amongst people, especially in a certain age range from the teens to the mid-20s. It was such a problem that this shut down 14 different schools for about a month until symptoms started to clear. They called it a mass hysteria event. And interestingly enough, I actually just listened to a new podcast on this. It's called Hysterical, and it was about a mass hysteria event that happened in the United States just like a few years ago, like close to COVID. It was kind of interesting. So it's called Hysterical if you want to listen to. It was entertaining. C, laughing, the answer. Congrats if that was your guess. Here's your next chance to win $50 to habaneros on South Campbell. Which ancient people invented the toothbrush? Do you think it is A, the Romans, B, the Egyptians, C, the Greeks, or D, Africans? Let me know your guess. You can do that at aroundtheozarks.com. No Googling. That takes all the fun out of it. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Rescue Towing and Command Family Medicine. Also, thanks to John's Heating and Air. Thanks for listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather this morning. I'm meteorologist Abby Dyer. Enjoy this beautiful day, 75, sunshine, nice light breeze, beautiful day to eat lunch outside today. Have a great one. We'll chat again tomorrow morning.